£1 million, if that's the name of the baby. Grant Harrold is the former butler to His Royal Highness Prince Charles, a good friend of the programme. Grant, good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Obviously, it's not going to be Princey McPrinceface, although I wonder whether that sometimes downstairs, that's what you say. Oh, Princey McPrinceface wants his toast done again. I'm sure that never happened, Grant.
Well, sure not in my memory, I can safely say. But I think it's interesting with the names. You're hearing some of the suggestions because there's a couple of very traditional names that came out there. And that's the thing with the royal family. They do tend to pick traditional and historic names.
And it is a sort of we don't have one. I'm saying with the greatest respect to the royal family, we don't have one of those at the moment. So Alice seems to be a very popular choice for if it's a girl, and Louis or Louis if it's a boy. Can you see that?
Well, possibly. I think this is the thing. I mean, Louis is probably quite a good choice. We've in the past. Royal monarchs with the name, obviously with Louis, and members of the royal family have got that in their names. So it's not unusual. But in recent years, the kind of names that have been picked again historically mean something to the family, which is why they tend to do that. So I don't think there's anything thankfully unusual, because obviously these days a lot of celebrities like to pick the kind of unusual names. I think it's safe to say the royal family won't suddenly be naming one of their children after a certain landmark or something.
Like a bridge or a park or a hotel.
Exactly. No, I think it's safe to say that won't happen, I hope.
and this is obviously, this then determines, isn't it? Because you tend to find that if a royal... Charlotte was a very... the second child, most recently born, a couple of years ago, 2015. That then became an incredibly popular name for the country. A lot of children were caught... It's sort of like sets a trend as such.
Well, the thing about the royal family, as I've always said over the last couple of years, is they are trendsetters. I mean, the reality is, whether it's fashion, with the way they dress or their children dress, the way they pick the names, people like that. They embrace it, and they then just say that's actually a good idea. We like that name. We like that fashion. We like the way they do things, and then they follow. They follow as well, which I think it's great, and it shows that they're some of the things that they kind of, the names they pick, the way they dress, people like it. People want to kind of copy it, if I can say that.
And is there any name that I've missed from the possibilities there? I mean, there is already a George. You wouldn't name it. You wouldn't name Philip or Elizabeth, because obviously that's the Duke of Edinburgh and Her Majesty the Queen.
Exactly, but then again, if it was a boy, Philip is obviously a nice name, and they might say actually that's a good idea. But could even, I mean, why not again look at their own parents' names? That's the other thing. So I think there's quite a lot of room there. And again, I'm sure they'll look down the historic family royal names. But let's not forget Kate's also got her family. So there might be a name in her family that means something to her. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I'm sure before too long we'll find out.
Well, yes. I mean, who knows? And I'm not just saying this because of the Middletons, but there may be a Barbara in there or something that a name which might come completely out of left field. This is going to be a very busy time for the royal family, though, Grant. I mean, you've been a butler in His Royal Highness Prince Charles's house. You've got the baby. You've got Harry's wedding. You've just had the Queen's 92nd birthday.
Absolutely.
A lot going on in the royal household at the moment.
And also, let's not forget Prince Charles got his 70th birthday coming up.
Yes.
So I mean, there's quite a lot of celebrations going on. It's a really busy royal year, which is quite unusual, because I think a lot of people thought, it's every year people are going to go, what's the royal event? And this year, there's a few of them, but it's great because people kind of get behind it. It's a feel-good factor as well, and it gets people celebrating. And the royal wedding, without any question, is a highlight of that. I think there is a lot of excitement around it, which is fantastic. But it's going to be definitely, without any question, it's going to be a crazy couple of months coming up.
Be very interested to see how all this pans out over the coming days and indeed the coming weeks as well. Grant, always a pleasure to have you on the programme. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Thank you, Grant.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure. Grant Harrold there, former butler to His Royal Highness Prince Charles, a good friend of the programme. No news yet on other than the fact that the Duchess of Cambridge and Prince William are in hospital at the moment. Early signs of labour. What would you...